should you get and build Kazemaru? Short answer, probably. Long answer, this entire video.
ロドスの中外オペレーター、風丸です。任務を開始する。
Kazemaru is a 5-star Goalkeeper specialist from Higashi. Former shinobi from one of the household in that country. Following the previous head's passing, and a clash between her views and the current head's business goal, she is referred to Rhodes Island for a new work, and then becoming an intelligence officer stationed in Victoria. Kazemaru is the second Goalkeeper after Benna. They're a pretty unique DPS and survivability operator. So, let's see more about her. As a Goalkeeper, when she received a lethal damage, instead of being retreated, she will be replaced by her substitute. And after 20 seconds, Kazemaru will be back again in the same tile. This substitute is a form of survivability mechanic for a Goalkeeper, and can provide a unique ability than the original unit. The substitute has 0 block count and have 3x3 range. And also has the same stats as Kazemaru. But with some factors like module effect, they can have a pretty different stats. The substitute cannot gain SP, and the substitute can be hurt and defeated. If it got defeated, you will have to wait 70 seconds to deploy Kazemaru again. Thankfully you can heal the substitute just like how you normally heal her. And unlike others, her substitute normal attack is a physical damage. And her general stats, she got a decent DPS to utilize her damaging skills. But her defensive stats is quite low, so you might want to prepare a healer. Because it's best to keep Kazemaru in her normal form as long as possible. And in case her substitute can't handle the damage from enemy. She also has the lowest DP cost among other Goalkeeper, since Benna is a welfare. And moving to her talent. Either the substitute appear because Kazemaru is defeated or from skill. The substitute will immediately inflict arts damage to all surrounding enemies. Useful if she got overwhelmed by enemy waves, and then gives them arts bomb. But after that, the substitute won't do anything special. When compared to Benna, her substitute can reduce damage taken, making her a superior bait unit, and increase the substitute's survival chance. And Spectral can reduce enemy movement and continuously deals AoE arts damage. While Kazemaru AoE burst is quite high. But let's say if she got defeated by a ranged attack from afar, without enemies in the surrounding tiles, this talent will go to waste. And this is her potentials upgrade list. Increasing her attack and talent will be useful. But overall it's not a priority to acquire her other potentials. And this is her module that should be available installed for an Arvis event. Her old stuff back in the ninja days. Increasing her substitute attack, and her attack and defense stats. It is useful to increase the damage of her talent. Because this module effect should be applied before the AoE burst impact. Still, not something that I think is a high priority. But if you use her quite often you can unlock this module. As for her module upgrade, it will increase her talent damage. In level 2 it increase by 10%, and 5% in level 3. Quite a low number for an expensive upgrade. So overall I don't recommend you to prioritize upgrading her module. And then moving to her skills. Her first skill. Her next attack will deal a critical damage, but will decrease her HP by 10%. It's a strong single target skill, and thanks to the cheap SP cost, Kazemaru can immediately use this after her substitute duration ends. Since a substitute won't gain SP, it can make her other skill have a long cooldown. So if you having a problem with that, perhaps her S1 is a good choice to use. Now moving to her second skill. Immediately lose 50% of her current HP and increase her attack. And summon a substitute in one of the surrounding 8 tiles. If there's no available tile she won't deploy her substitute. So by all means, give the girl some space. When appears, the substitute will activate a talent that deals arts damage. and the substitute will stay in the battlefield until skill duration ends, or Kazemaru is defeated. Also, the substitute is considered a new unit, and will be targeted by enemies. Overall, this is her main skill to use, because she can summon her substitute without being defeated, and utilize her talent that inflict high arts damage. And the substitute helps beat the enemy up, and increasing her DPS potential. For skill mastery priority. While the S2 didn't gain much from mastery, it only increased the attack by 10% and a little bit initial SP on each mastery level. But overall her S2 is better than S1. So if you like her and use her often, choose the S2 first. As for her base skills, Kazemaru will increase clue search speed by 15%, and 35% when working alone. So, will Kazemaru become a good operator for your team? Kazemaru can immediately use this after her substitute duration ends. And she doesn't even need to be defeated first thanks to her skill 2. To reach the highest DPS potential, it's recommended to keep her alive as long as possible, and utilize her talent by using her S2. Goalkeeper can also offer a utility that nobody else have. Typically their survivability, but it's not something that Kazemaru is strong at. But, much like every other Goalkeeper, I think Kazemaru is a fun to use operator, rather than the most practical one. So only get and build her if you already have a solid team, and know how to use her. Or well, perhaps Ninja Cat is a priority for you to have and build. That should be all. Adios.